Okay, we are live.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to call the meeting of the Broadband Authority to order. Our first action is for each one of us to, for the record, announce where we are attending this from, the location. District 1, Mr. Johnson.
As always, I'm at 13451 Albano Road, Barbersville, Virginia, my home.
Okay, Mr. Crozier.
As always, when I am in Virginia, the Orange County Airport.
Okay, Mr. Frame.
I'm at my home, 103 Woodland Trail in Locust Grove, Virginia.
Okay, and I'm at my home at 22373 Berry Run Road, Orange, Virginia. Okay, thank you. Any changes or additions to the agenda? Need a motion to approve it?
Second.
Okay, have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, it was unanimous. All right, consent agenda. We have one item on there, the renewal of the contract for really, this is our main fiber installation contract. Any comments you want to make about it, Amanda? It's a consent agenda item, but
no, basically we just put it on here, just putting the amounts that were to not succeed for phase 6. And I have the renewal ready for Jose to sign after the action has been approved.
okay. I need a motion on the consent agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, unanimous. New business. We have the award of a contract to NRTC for managed services. This is the main contract that we've talked about a couple of times before that deals with customer service and network operations for us, for the Broadband Authority. So Amanda, you want to tell us about this one?
Sure. On June 4th of this year, the Orange County Broadband Authority released a solicitation seeking proposals from firms to provide customer interface and fiber network operations support services to the county. This was advertised on our website, the Orange County Review, and on EVA. The county received a total of 10 responses, and interviews were held with the top 3 ranked vendors. After much review and discussions, the staff recommends executing a contract with NRTC Managed Services for 1 year with 4-year possible 1-year renewals.
Okay. Any questions of Amanda?
But I do have not necessarily of Amanda, but I do like to understand what are the criteria in terms of customer service? 24/7, what kind of a response? Do we have any of that laid out?
Oh, yes, the scope of work that was in the RFP was very specific in terms of 24/7, as you mentioned, customer service reps for both the not technical and non-technical assistance. This would be the platform that would be used to answer initial questions from prospective customers. They would call in. Matter of fact, the phone will be answered, as you'll find later, something like FiberLink, and they can answer customer questions about whether or not there's service in their area, how do they sign up, what do they need to do, all those kind of things, all the way through a call that would come in once we have signed customers up that says, my smart TV isn't working. Why not? And those kind of things. So they're.
Maybe I just didn't miss the RFP, but is it possible to get a copy of those standards of service?
Oh, sure. Yeah, we can get you all of that.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Yeah. Okay. Amanda, will you ship that off to Mr. Frame and
will.
anyone else who hasn't seen it that's interested in it? So.
Yes.
But it's a very detailed statement of work and compliance review that was done. So
Okay, I mean, I'm not, I'm not questioning what we've done. It's just that I'd like to know so that,
Sure.
my customers and my constituents may ask questions and I know what we're doing.
Right, yeah, good idea. Okay. All right, anything else for discussion, or Amanda, any questions for her? Not, is there a motion?
So moved.
Okay, a motion and a second.
I will second it.
Second.
Okay, I think Mr. Crozier was first.
Oh,
First,
we can give it to Mr. Johnson.
all right, okay. We'll charge him a nickel and he can have it, right?
Yeah, one comes before four, so you know, he gets one.
I'd let the record show that Mr. Johnson seconded the motion. All right, any further discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 All right, it's unanimous. Okay, and the next one is yours also, Amanda, this is the award for the contracts. These would be contracts that would operate essentially out of Equinix and Culpeper to actually provide us the on-ramp, if you want to think of it that way, to the internet. These are contracts, and we have two in order to have redundancy that would actually make the big connection for Orange County citizens and users to the world. And so that's what
Does it include the schools?
it will. The schools can certainly use it. This is just a big on-ramp. We can put anything through it that we decide to.
I mean, and the school's paying a lot of money to do this on a regular basis with Comcast or with somebody.
They are, and we've had those conversations, and I think this is as is the county, by the way. The county is in the same situation as the schools. So
Well, it just seems to have saved the
I
schools.
think I certainly hope the schools are going to use this. I mean, that would be very disappointing if they didn't. I mean,
Right.
this contract here is simply to, rather than us run fiber up from Culpeper to Ashburn, which would be very expensive, we're using somebody else's fiber. We're buying from somebody else. So this is just getting us the connection. But yeah, I mean, you know, I am assuming that the school system, and of course we shouldn't assume, but I'm assuming the school system will be certainly using our system once we get it up.
Okay.
Amanda, you want to give us? I'm sorry.
Been having discussion with Mark, the IT director for the schools, and he was interested possibly doing something with a connection at the Locust Grove Middle School, I think, once we get up, but that was probably about 6 months ago. But once we get the network up, we can kind of circle around or set up a joint meeting.
All right. Okay, Amanda, you want to give us the particulars of this one?
Sure. On July 2nd of this year, the Orange County Broadband Authority released a solicitation seeking proposals from firms to provide dedicated internet access services to the county. This was also advertised on the county website, the Orange County Review, and on EVA. The county received 12 responses and held interviews with the top 2 ranked vendors. Staff recommends executing contracts with the 2 top ranked vendors, Cogent Communications and Planters Communications, for 1 year with the possibility of 4 one-year renewals. So we're going to award to 2 different companies for this.
Okay. Any questions, Amanda? Or any other?
Well, let me just, I think it's interesting to me specifically why we do 2 and also why we do 2 different types. And Louis or Jim can jump in if I mangle my facts here, but you've got different tiers. So you have tier 1 providers are AT&T and the mega groups like that. So one of these that we are signing up with is a tier 1 provider. The other one is not a tier 1 provider, and that's purposeful. Because what happens when you drop down to tier 2? And Lewis, am I correct? Is the other one a tier 2?
You're muted, Lewis.
Yes, sir. The tier
It
one
is a tier-
provider, the tier one provider is Cogent Communication in this case. The tier 2 is
Okay.
Clarence Communication, and they buy from like 4 or 5 tier 1 providers. So that provides additional redundancy.
Right. So we're getting, by having a tier 1 and a tier 2, we've got a lot of, as Lewis says, a lot of redundancy, and it would have to be a pretty cataclysmic event for us to lose our connection to the internet.
Okay. All right. Is there a motion?
I so move.
Okay, you have a motion, and I see coin flipping going on. Anybody like to second this one?
I would second this one, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, seconded by Mr. Crozier. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right, it's unanimous.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Amanda. Thanks for all the help. We've relied on you very heavily here over the last few months, as the board knows, and we certainly appreciate all that you've done to help us move this along. So,
Of course.
the last item under new business is to consider a resolution that is part of the process of the branding and giving some identity to the Broadband Authority. We've had several discussions with the team of Lewis and Mark and Mike and Jenny and I and others about the branding process, and we settled on a name that we think sort of fits what we're trying to do and has a little bit of a catch to it, or is a little bit catchy, and it's also most importantly, maybe it is an available domain name that we have reserved for ourselves, and that name would be FiberLink. Unlike what you see on your agenda here, we think we'd like to have it be capital F, capital L, but still one word. We're still playing around a little bit with the logo and the actual font and spelling and those kind of things. The purpose here is to lay stake to that name under the doing business as DBA process with the state of Virginia. And so this would in effect allow us to conduct business and frankly answer the telephones, as I had said before, as we choose, but it would be probably something like FiberLink. Eric, you have any further comment or guidance on this process, or anything we need to know about this resolution?
Yeah, just one thing. In the resolution that I drafted for you, I was not aware that the L was going to be capitalized.
Understand.
The resolution I have is a lowercase L in FiberLink. If you guys want, someone could just make a motion to amend it to a capital L, and then I can rewrite it for the signature of the secretary or treasurer to be certified later.
Okay. All right. Any other questions of Eric about the process? You've seen the resolution. It's fairly straightforward. That essentially just deals with the informing or applying to the State Corporation Commission for the authority to do business as FiberLink.
What else does it do? You said we get this, that we can claim this as a.
I said that one of the things that we checked before we settled on the name FiberLink was, is that domain name available as an internet name?
Okay.
And their domain fiberlink.net was available. And so we reserved it. So we can actually do business as FiberLink, and our website can be FiberLink, and our email address can be FiberLink. That was the connection that we wanted to make sure we could make, because we didn't want to have to, do business under one name and have a website under a similar but maybe different name and those kind of things. So the nice thing about this, we put a bow around all of it.
Okay.
Okay, is there a motion?
So moved.
Okay,
I will second, and I'm sure that Lee intended to capitalize the L in his.
I did. Thank you.
right. Okay. All right, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, this passes unanimously. All right, I see no old business or other business. The only thing I left on my list is an adjournment. First of all, thank you all for doing this. There's a reasonable possibility that we might have to do this again next week. There's one more procurement, as Amanda can tell you, that she's working diligently on, that I think that was not ready for today, but should be ready in a few days. And so it's an urgent one that fits with one of the ones that we did today. So there's a good possibility we'll try to do this again, fairly soon. So I thank you for tonight. And did I hear an adjournment motion?
So moved.
All right. If everybody's happy with that, have a good evening. We will see you all tomorrow in person, I think.
Yes,
Indeed.
using the
Take
elevator.
care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
warm up that elevator. All right. Thanks again, everyone.
Have a good one.